Leadership looks powerful from the outside as a result of influence, authority, responsibility, and visibility. But what most people do not see is the quiet isolation that often comes with it. Many leaders are surrounded by people, yet deeply alone. In this session, I want to explore the psychology behind why leaders feel alone at the top and what can be done about it. This is not about weakness. It's about structure, it's about responsibility, and it's about emotional load. Leadership structurally creates distance. When you move into high responsibility, you supervise others, you evaluate others, you make decisions affecting others. And once that happens, peer relationship change. You are no longer just one of the team. Even if you are relational, the role introduces hierarchy. And when we talk about hierarchy creates information filtering, impression management, reduced emotional transparency from others. People begin to tell you what you need to hear, avoid disagreeing openly, and protect access to you. And this creates what I call role-induced isolation. The higher the responsibility, the narrower the circle of honest conversation. Looking at the psychological burden of responsibility, high responsibility carry a visible cognitive load. Let us examine 3 psychological factors. 1, decision density. Leaders make hundreds of micro and macro decisions weekly. Research in decision science shows that sustained decision making depletes cognitive resources. This leads to what we call 1, decision fatigue, 2, reduced emotional patience, 3, irritability, 4, mental exhaustion. But here is the problem. You cannot publicly collapse, so you internalize. In the second part to this, emotional containment, leaders often function as emotional regulators for others. They absorb complaints, they manage crises, they contain conflicts, and hold organizational anxiety. Over time, this creates emotional asymmetry. You absorb more than you release. And that imbalance produces loneliness. Another one is identity fusion. For many high performers, identity becomes fused with leadership role. You are not just someone who leads, you become the responsible one, the stable one, the strong one, and the solution provider. And once identity fuses with role, vulnerability feels like incompetence. That is psychologically isolating. Another session is why success increases isolation. Counterintuitive truth. The more competent you become, the less people check on you. The more competent you become, the less people check on you. Why? It's because you appear capable. You solve problems. You rarely complain. Competence reduces perceived need. Competence reduces perceived need. And when people assume you are fine, they stop asking deeper questions. This produces silent emotional drift. You are functioning, you are delivering, but internally, fatigue accumulates. This is often the early stage of burnout. Now, let's talk about the 3 types of leadership loneliness. Let us categorize this clearly. Type 1 is called structural loneliness, which is caused by hierarchy and role separation. Type 2 is emotional loneliness, which is caused by absorbing more than you express. Type 3 is existential loneliness. This is deeper. It is the weight of ultimate responsibility. When difficult decisions must be made, the final call rests with you. That burden cannot be fully shared. This is the loneliness of consequence. What to do about it? Yes, there is something to do about it. Loneliness in leadership is not solved by popularity, it is solved by structure. Here are 4 interventions I'm suggesting today. Number 1 is for us to build lateral accountability. You need peers who are not subordinate to you, who are not dependent on you, who can challenge you honestly. I'm not talking about admirers, not followers. I'm talking about peers. Number 2, there's a need to create emotional discharge system. You must intentionally debrief weekly. Do what is called journaling. Engage therapy or coaching. And of course, schedule reflective pauses. Unprocessed emotions will always accumulate. Number 3, we need to separate identity from role. You are not your title. If your role disappears tomorrow, who are you? Healthy leaders cultivate non-performance relationship, non-competitive environments, spaces where they are not in charge. Number 4, there's a need for us to redefine strength. Strength is not emotional silence. Strength is sustainable capacity. A leader who collapses privately every 6 months is not strong. Sustainable leaders manage load before breakdown. Let me conclude with this. Leadership is not lonely because you are weak. It is lonely because responsibility structures relationship. If you are feeling alone at the top, it does not mean you are failing. It means you are carrying more than you are releasing. High responsibility leadership requires 1, emotional system, 2, cognitive test, 3, identity clarity, and number 4, honest peers. And without those, loneliness quietly becomes burnout. If this resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. I help high responsibility leaders build emotional, intelligent, sustainable leadership system. I will see you in the next session. Take care.